Alexandra Eala's family renovates charity homes in Philippines. Mother's emotional reason brings crowd to tears. It was a humid morning in Manila, the kind of golden dawn that painted the sky with promise. The streets buzzed with chatter, and the faint scent of sampaguita flowers filled the air. But in a small barangay on the outskirts of Quezon City, something extraordinary was unfolding. A crowd had gathered around a cluster of newly painted houses, bright with pastel colors, each bearing a sign, Eala Family Hope Homes. At the center stood tennis star Alexandra Eala, her mother Riza, father Michael, and younger brother Miko. They weren't holding rackets or trophies. They were holding hammers, paintbrushes, and smiles. Because today, the Eala family wasn't on a tennis court. They were at home, giving others a home. And what started as a simple renovation project had become one of the most touching humanitarian stories of the year. The project no one expected. The Eala family had quietly been working with local charity, Bahay Ingpag-asa Foundation, for months. The goal was to rebuild and renovate homes for struggling families affected by recent floods and economic hardship. No press releases, no sponsorships, just quiet acts of kindness. But word spread fast. When the first group of homes neared completion, the foundation organized a small ceremony. They expected maybe 50 people to come. Over 500 showed up. Children waved Philippine flags. Local volunteers wore shirts with the words Team Eala, Serving Hope, printed across the back. But what nobody expected was how emotional the day would become, especially when Riza, Alexandra's mother, finally spoke. The heart behind the project. Riza Eala had always been a private woman, composed, dignified, and quietly strong. Most people knew her as Alex's supportive mother, always seen courtside at tournaments around the world. But when she took the microphone that morning, her voice trembled. When Alex won her first title, I told her, trophies are heavy, but hearts are heavier. What matters most is how you lift others. She paused, fighting tears. The crowd fell silent. Years ago, before Alex became who she is now, our family faced our own storms. We lost our home once, not a floods, but a hardship. But people helped us. They gave us kindness, even when we had nothing. I swore that one day we'd return that kindness, not in words, but in action. The crowd erupted in applause. Tears rolled down faces. Even Alexandra's eyes glistened as she reached out to hold her mother's hand. The story behind the promise. Years ago, long before Alexandra Eala became a household name, the family lived a modest life in Quezon City. When her father's business went through a difficult period, they faced uncertainty. But the community stood by them. Neighbors shared food. Teachers encouraged Alex to keep training even when the family couldn't afford all her tennis expenses. That kindness never left them. When Alexandra rose to international fame, becoming a junior Grand Slam champion and one of Asia's most promising athletes, the Ealas made a quiet promise to give back to the people who helped them rise. And now, standing before 12 families receiving new homes, that promise had come full circle. A star with her feet on the ground. Alexandra could have spent her off-season in Europe, training or resting. But she chose to spend it here, painting walls, planting trees, and speaking with children who dreamed of better lives. When one little girl tugged her sleeve and asked, "Hey, Alex, are you really a tennis champion?" she smiled and knelt down. "Yes, but today I'm just your neighbor." The girl laughed. "Then can you play patintero with us?" And she did. Right there between two newly painted houses, the WTA star joined a group of barefoot kids in a local street game, laughter echoing down the alley. For the families who once lived in despair, this moment was pure joy, proof that heroes can be humble and champions can be human. The homes that hope built. Each home in the Eala family project was special. They weren't luxurious, just simple two-bedroom units with strong foundations and brightly painted walls. But they were built with love. Every brick was laid by local volunteers. Every color chosen by the families themselves. The roofs were reinforced to withstand future floods, and small gardens were planted beside each house. Inside one of the homes hung a small plaque that read, "Love builds homes. Hope keeps them standing." Alexandra's grandmother, who had come to bless the houses, whispered softly, "This is what it means to win not medals, but hearts." A moment of silence. Midway through the ceremony, the foundation surprised the Eala family by revealing a mural painted by local artists. It showed Alexandra as a young girl holding a racket beside her mother, offering a hand to a small child. Below it read, "From one helping hand, many dreams are built." Riza couldn't hold back her tears. She turned to the crowd, her voice breaking. This is for every mother who once worried if her child would have a future. For every family that prayed for one more chance. You are our family, too. The crowd stood in silence. Then applause roared to the air, raw and emotional. The power of a mother's love. For Alexandra, her mother's emotional speech was the highlight of the day. In an interview afterward, she said, "My mom has always been my coach in life, not just in tennis. She taught me discipline, humility, and empathy. Everything I am today, I owe to her." Riza, on the other hand, brushed off the praise with a gentle smile. "I only guided her. The kindness you see in her, that's her heart." But everyone in attendance knew the truth. The love that moved Alexandra to help others came from her mother's example. How the world reacted. When news of the renovation project spread, the story went viral. Sports networks, lifestyle magazines, and even international outlets picked it up. Headlines read, "Alexandra Eala's family rebuilds more than homes. They rebuild hope." From courts to communities, the Eala family's gift to the Philippines. Tennis stars' mothers' tears inspire a nation. The hashtag Eala Family Promise trended on social media for days. Athletes across the world, from Coco Gauff to Rafael Nadal, sent messages of support. This is what being a champion truly means. Nadal posted on X, "The families who received the homes." Among the 12 families who received new homes was the Reyes family, a mother of 3 who had been living in a makeshift shelter after typhoon damage. The message that echoed across the world. From Manila to Madrid, people spoke of the Eala family's project as a symbol of humanity in motion. International athletes began following suit, hosting charity builds, mentoring youth, supporting homes for underprivileged families. Sports Illustrated wrote, "The Eala family didn't just rebuild homes. They rebuilt what the world needs most, heart, the true meaning of winning." Alexandra Eala still trains, still competes, still dreams of Grand Slam glory. But she often says that the victory that changed her life didn't happen on a court. It happened in a humble village in Quezon City, where her mother's tears watered seeds of hope. "When I see those families smile," she once said, "I feel like I've won Wimbledon." And maybe she has, in a way the world will never forget. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, and share. Till next time.